Hello. I think you have understood the previous part 1 photosynthesis very clearly and you find it easy and interesting also. In today's discussion, we are going through some more details about photosynthetic bacteria, their specific routes for photosynthesis, the different components take active part in the photosynthesis and uh, overview of photosynthesis. So now let us have part 2 photosynthesis. This is the outline of our discussion of photosynthesis part 2. Now we'll see in detail about the process of photosynthesis. The conversion of light energy into chemical energy is called photosynthesis. Here, carbon dioxide binds with water molecule and with the help of light energy converted into carbohydrate, oxygen is released and water molecule is formed. Photosynthetic reaction is divided into two different stages. Light reaction, that is light dependent reaction. In this reaction, light energy is absorbed and converted to chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. The second reaction in photosynthesis is dark reaction. It is also called carbon fixation reaction. In this reaction, carbohydrates are made from carbon dioxide using the stored energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. The whole process of photosynthesis starts with chloroplast and photosystems. There are two photosystems in non-cyclic photophosphorylation or photosynthesis. The photosystems are two: photosystem 1, which contains reaction center pigment P700, which is having peak absorption at 700 nanometer of visible light. Photosystem 2 is a reaction center pigment P680 because it has a peak absorption at 680 nanometer. First of all, photosystem 2 will start reaction. Here, accessory pigments shuttle energy to P680 reaction center. Then, excited electrons from P680 reaction center are transferred to B6F complex. Then after, electrons which are lost from P680 reaction center are replaced by an electron released from the splitting of the water. Photosystem 1 receives energy from an antenna complex and this energy is shuttled to P700 reaction center. The excited electron is transferred to a membrane bound electron carrier and electrons are used to reduce NADP plus to NADPH. ATP synthase is embedded in the thylakoid membrane or cytoplasmic membrane in case of bacteria. Here protons are accumulated and it will move through ATP synthase and as a result ATP is produced from ADP and PI. This figure shows about the generation of ATP and NADPH. The overall purpose of the light dependent reaction is to convert solar energy into chemical energy in the form of NADPH and ATP. ATP and NADPH are generated by two electron transport chains. During the light reaction, water here is used and oxygen is produced. We can see the whole process, the migration of electron. Then the production of ATP by chemiosmosis in photosynthesis. Chemiosmosis takes place in cell membrane of the bacteria, and here pumping of protons through special channels in the cytoplasmic membrane from the inner to the outer part of the membrane. Here it creates an electrochemical gradient. After the gradient is established, protons diffuse down the gradient through a transport protein called ATP synthase. The second stage is dark reaction. This is also called carbon fixation reaction. Here, with the help of carbon dioxide and solar energy, carbohydrates are made by bacteria, and it also involves Calvin cycle. Here, ribulose biphosphate bind with carbon dioxide and converted into phosphoglyceraldehyde, which contains 3 carbons, and then after the entire Calvin cycle will be operated, and here we can see that ribulose biphosphate and carbon dioxide will bind and produce different intermediates like 3-phosphoglycerate, 1,3-biphosphoglycerate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and it will be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and then after glucose is produced from this, and then this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate can also be converted into ribulose biphosphate again. So carbohydrates are made in the dark reaction of photosynthesis. Now we'll switch over to the classification of bacteria. In case of photosynthetic bacteria and cyanobacteria, that is unicellular algae, it is the large domain of phytoplankton. Many marine microbes such as Prochlorococcus, Synechococcus and Anabaena are having chlorophyll A. They use water as electron donor and generate oxygen by photolysis during photosynthesis. They are called oxygenic phototrophs. The purple bacteria, members of Thiourodiaceae, contain chlorophyll A or B. They utilize hydrogen sulfide and or inorganic compounds as their electron donors and grow in anaerobic condition. Green bacteria, members of Chlorobacteriaceae, contain bacteriochlorophyll C or D and less amount of chlorophyll A. They use hydrogen sulfide and or organic compounds as electron donors. They grow in anaerobic condition, so they are called anoxygenic phototrophs. Here we can see green bacteria, purple bacteria and cyanobacteria, green sulfur bacteria, green non-sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria and purple non-sulfur bacteria. They all are anoxygenic phototrophic bacteria, whereas cyanobacteria are oxygenic phototrophic bacteria. In case of green sulfur bacteria, the electron donors are different than in case of green non-sulfur bacteria, and the same is true for purple sulfur bacteria and purple non-sulfur bacteria. Now oxygenic phototrophic bacteria, they use water molecule as electron donor. They have chlorophyll A and phycobilenes, and other types of oxygenic phototrophs are prochlorophytes having chlorophyll B, and they are related to cyanobacteria. The next is non-cyclic photosynthetic apparatus in cyanobacteria or oxygenic phototrophic bacteria. In this figure, we can see that the flow of electron is non-cyclic. It cannot be handed over again to the same reaction center. During the flow of the electron through the electron carriers, there is production of energy in the form of proton gradient. Different electron carriers are involved in this process. For example, pheophytene, plastoquinones, plastocyanine, ferredoxine, and so on. The ultimate aim of all these electron carriers is to generate a gradient or a difference in the energy which will be utilized in the production of high energy compounds like ATP or some other compounds like NADPH. Anoxygenic phototrophic bacteria. These bacteria utilize organic compounds or inorganic compounds and even hydrogen gas they can utilize in the form of electron donor. They grow in low oxygen concentration. Cyclic photosynthesis in oxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Now here we can see that there is involvement of only one particular reaction center, that is photosystem 1, and with the help of chemiosmosis it produces ATP and there will be cyclic flow of electrons throughout the reaction. Cyclic photophosphorylation. It is found in sulfur bacteria, and in sulfur bacteria only one photosystem is operated. Electrons and protons are released during the reaction and electron is recycled to the same chlorophyll. Classification of purple bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria and purple non-sulfur bacteria. They have certain dissimilarities in their characteristics. We can see very nicely. Organic substrates, aerobic growth, ability to oxidize hydrogen sulfide, and so on. Purple sulfur photosynthetic bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria are found in freshwater lakes, ponds, or marine water. They oxidize sulfide to elemental sulfur, which is deposited in their cells. They are photoautotrophic or photoheterotrophic, and they have type 2 reaction center which carries electrons, and electron carriers like bacteriophyophytene and quinones are found, and reaction center like P870 is found in this bacteria. Purple bacteria photosynthesis found in this bacteria is always cyclic flow of electron. We can see that cytochrome bC1 complex is involved in the production of proton gradient, that is electrochemical potential is created with the help of cytochrome, and then after electrons are handed over to cytochrome C2 and then again it will be recycled to same reaction center P870. Purple non-sulfur bacteria. They are also photoautotrophic and photoheterotrophic. They are autotrophs which use hydrogen as their electron donor. They Heterotrophic types use organic acids like malate and succinate. They have slow growth in fermentative condition. They are found in ponds and lakes where sulfide content is less. Very good examples of these bacteria are Rhodobacter and Rhodospirillum rubrum. The light energy drives electrons from the reaction center P870 through pheophytin, a quinone, and cytochrome B-C1 complex, and through cytochrome C2 it is back to the reaction center. These are green bacteria, green sulfur and green non-sulfur bacteria. It can be exemplified by Chlorobium and Chloroflexus. They are anaerobic photoautotrophic bacteria. They use hydrogen sulfide, sulfur or thiosulfate or even hydrogen gas as their electron donors. They utilize carbon dioxide as their carbon source. They are found in sulfide-rich anaerobic water sources. Their light harvesting pigments are located in spatial inclusion bodies called chromosomes. They have two different routes for photosynthesis, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. They have type 1 reaction center, that is P840, which involves in cyclic as well as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. The next is green non-sulfur bacteria, that is also called by the name gliding bacteria. The example is Chloroflexus, which is filamentous, gliding and thermophilic bacteria. It is found in alkaline hot water springs having pH 10. The optimum temperature for their growth is 52 to 60 degrees centigrade. They may be photoautotrophic or photoheterotrophic. They can utilize substrates as their electron donors like hydrogen or hydrogen sulfide. Heliobacteria. They have special type of chlorophyll, bacteriochlorophyll G. Very good example of these bacteria are Heliobacterium and Heliobacillus. They are closely related to Clostridia. They are endospore formers and there is no lipopolysaccharide in their cell wall. This way they have photosynthesis in their cells. The photosystem operated in these bacteria is P798. We can very nicely observe that there is cyclic photophosphorylation in Heliobacterium. This is the cyclic photophosphorylation. Comparison between two different phosphorylation, cyclic as well as non-cyclic, and their end products and electron flow are different. Now we'll revise photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in which carbon dioxide is immobilized in the form of carbohydrates using solar energy. There are specific enzymes operated in Calvin cycle, and with the help of Rubisco enzyme, the carbon dioxide gets converted into triose sugar and then after it will be ultimately converted into glucose sugar. The fate of this glucose sugar may be having different routes. Either it will be utilized in cellular respiration or in the production of cellulose or starch, or some other type of organic compounds are prepared then after from the glucose molecules. The light reaction involves utilization of water molecules and production of oxygen, and also the production of high energy compounds like ATP and NADPH, which are then after used in the second phase of photosynthesis, that is dark reaction.
I think that now you are aware about new concepts of photosynthesis. This is the only process and the main cause of perpetuation of our life as it produces food for us. In the next coming session, we shall try to see something new about paper 502 prokaryotic metabolism. Till then, stay happy and God bless.